I never believed in ghosts, or doppelgängers, or anything that couldn't be explained. But I also never thought I'd be afraid of my own reflection. It started subtly. I would catch glimpses of myself in mirrors or windows and feel like something was off. The wrong posture, the wrong tilt of my head. But by the time I focused, everything looked normal. I told myself it was just paranoia. Then it got worse. One evening, I was brushing my teeth when I noticed my reflection wasn't moving at the same time as I was. I turned my head slightly to the left, and the reflection hesitated for a fraction of a second before mimicking me. My stomach dropped. I waved my hand slowly. It followed, but a moment too late. I stepped back, blinking rapidly. The reflection was perfectly normal again. I laughed nervously, shaking my head. I was just tired. But after that night, the little discrepancies piled up. A few days later, I was in an elevator with mirrored walls. I was the only one inside. But as I looked at my reflection, I felt that same unease. I leaned closer, and my reflection smiled. I didn't. I stumbled back, my breath catching. The doors dinged open, and I bolted out, barely catching a glimpse of my expression. Perfectly normal again. I told my best friend, Mark, about it over coffee. He chuckled, but when he saw my face, his amusement faded. "You're serious?" he asked. I nodded. "Maybe you're stressed," he offered. "Lack of sleep can do weird things." I wanted to believe that. I really did. But I started avoiding mirrors, covering the ones in my apartment. My paranoia grew. I'd glance at windows and see my reflection watching me before snapping into place like nothing happened. Then, one night, it crossed the line. I woke up in darkness, feeling something was wrong. My room was silent. Too silent. Then I heard it. Breathing. Not mine. Slow, measured, coming from across the room. I didn't move. My pulse pounded in my ears. I slowly reached for my phone and turned on the screen. The dim glow barely illuminated anything. But then I saw it. The mirror across the room. My reflection was standing up. I was still lying in bed. Every muscle in my body locked as my reflection took a slow step forward, inside the mirror, but moving as if there was no glass at all. Its lips curled into a smile, the same one from the elevator. I threw the covers off and bolted for the light switch. The second the room was flooded with light, the reflection snapped back into place, lying in bed just as I was. My chest heaved. I turned the mirror to face the wall. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next day, I told Mark everything. He hesitated before saying, "Maybe you should record it, just to see if anything weird happens." I hated the idea, but I needed to know if I was losing my mind. That night, I set up my phone to record while I slept. I woke up feeling groggy, but otherwise normal. Heart hammering, I opened the video. For the first few hours, nothing happened. Then, around 3:14 a.m., my reflection moved. Not my body, just the reflection. It sat up while I remained asleep. It turned its head toward the camera, grinning. My real body lay still, unaware. Then it got worse. At 3:16 a.m., my reflection stood up inside the mirror. It walked to the edge of the frame, then stepped out, into my room. I stopped breathing. The reflection, now free, moved toward my bed, staring down at me as I slept. It leaned closer until its face was inches from mine. Then it slowly turned toward the camera, raised a finger to its lips, and whispered, "Shh." The video cut to static. I dropped my phone, my skin ice cold. I checked the mirror. It was normal, showing my terrified reflection. But I knew what I saw, and I knew that whatever it wasn't me. That night, I smashed every mirror in my apartment. But as I stood among the shattered glass, something caught my eye. My reflection, still perfectly intact in one of the shards, and it was still smiling.